Alrighty, guys, so I don't claim to be an expert in anything, much less movies and TV, but I rather dumbly, rather stupidly decided let's make a predictions segment for, the box office for 2025, thinking, oh, I can look at box office precedent, I can look at numbers, and I can make a pretty accurate list. And my list is gone out the window. If you guys don't remember, you can go check it out. It was a separate segment. It was towards the end of the year, 2024, where we talked about talked about a lot of things, my ranking of 2024 movies and predicting 2025 movies in terms of anticipation, but also, like I mentioned, doing the box office predictions for 2025, I believe internationally. Yes, internationally. And taking a look at this list again, for the movies that have come out, I have screwed up really, really bad. First of all, Marvel, way underperforming. Captain America Brave New World, I thought 650 million. It made about 415. 200 million, $250 million off. Thunderbolts, I thought, sneaky hit. And the movie was good. It was received really well. I think the marketing, they just didn't know how to market the movie. And it also had a bunch of Disney Plus characters. And it also had the asterisk. And the marketing wasn't great. And it was coming off of Captain America Brave New World. That movie, I don't even think it's going to make $400 million. And I predicted it to make $725 million. What else is there? Lilo and Stitch, I thought $500 million, which I thought was a little bit conservative at the time of a conservative estimate, thinking, it can hit $500 million. That movie is going to make $1 billion. I don't know that. I'm just saying it. I think it'll probably close in at maybe between 800 million and $1 billion, but it's going to get up there. Speaking of $1 billion, a Minecraft movie. I thought, popular video game, but other popular video games haven't done that well. Sonic didn't do that. Well, $400 million was my prediction. It made almost $1 billion. It's crazy. So, I don't claim to be an expert in this, but I thought let's have some fun here because I'm not trying to wipe away those old predictions. That's on the internet forever. You guys can make fun of me for those predictions forever, and we'll revisit them at the end of the year, hopefully, if I remember. But I wanted to do an updated list as we enter the summer because with Lilo and Stitch and with Mission Impossible, we talked about earlier on in the podcast of how they're kicking off the summer in a big way. Let's revisit some of those predictions and make a new top 10 list for the remaining films of 2025. And let's see how wrong I get here. I don't know. Let's just see how wrong I get here. So we're going to go through them pretty quickly. And I think that the top half I believe in still. Top couple, at least, I believe in still, but the rest, I have no idea. So, this is a new top 10 for the remaining films of 2025. Coming in at number 10 is Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I predicted it at $350 million, I think. Let me just scroll through the list here. Where is it? It's towards the bottom, actually, which is kind of surprising. Five Nights at Freddy's 2, $350 million. I believe in that, I think. I don't know. I think that's a pretty fair estimate, so we'll leave it at that. Tron Ares is up next at number 9. I put it at $350 million as well. I think that one can bump up a little bit just because of the marketing, and this is why we're doing this segment. We have a little bit of hindsight here based on new trailers and new information coming out, so I think that's a pretty fair guess if I had to say. I'd say 450, I might be really stupid. I might be really off base. But anyways, Tron Ares, we'll see. Then a big jump up, because I think the next 8 here, after seeing what's going on, I've really kind of elevated some of my predictions. Although this next one, I think I've lowered it a little bit. Fantastic Four First Steps. I put it originally... Now, this is what I think is right. I think out of the 3... Actually, no, it's wrong. I take it back. I thought Fantastic Four First Steps I put at the most out of the MCU movies. It's actually between Thunderbolts and Captain America Brave New World. I originally put it at $700 million. Now, I think this movie has a little better shot at really hitting that high ceiling because Thunderbolts was good. It was well received. So really the problem was the perception of the MCU, Disney Plus characters, the marketing. I think Fantastic Four has that IP recognition. It has a great cast. It has the marketing going for it. I think people are interested in this movie. And so I'm not going to say that it hits $700 million anymore. I will say I think it can hit $600 million. That's where I'm going with it. And if it makes $600 million and is good, because again, I think while Thunderbolts didn't make a lot of money, it was good. I think that's a win. I think that's a huge win, honestly. So I'm not as disappointed about that as with Captain America Brave New World. So Fantastic Four First Steps, I'm going to put at $600 million. Now, coming in at number 7 is a movie that I didn't even have on this list, which is stupid. It's crazy. I've said the word stupid so many times in this segment because that's what happens when you look back at your predictions. They're dumb. F1, I don't know where it was on when I was looking at the original list, but F1, directed by Joseph Kosinski, is going to make a ton of money. And I didn't even think about this because, there's a huge F1 fan base, Formula One fan base that's going to turn out for this movie. This movie is going to make $750 million. That's my prediction. I'm just going to put it out there. This movie is going to make $750 million. That's it. That's my prediction. So F1 I really think is going to do well. Superman is number 6. And I was skeptical at first. I put it at $600 million, but at the time, if you remember, this was right after the first trailer came out. I said this movie has the highest variance of any movie on this list. This movie could make $300 million. This movie could make $1 billion. And so I put it right there in the middle, $600 million. Based on the reactions to the trailers, based on the marketing, if this movie is good, I think this movie has a chance at $1 billion. Am I saying it's going to hit $1 billion? No. I still think even if the movie is received super well, there are going to be enough people who are just not on board with whatever the vision is for Superman and the old DCEU. They have their thoughts, whether it's good or bad or whatnot. So I'm going to say Superman, I'm bumping it up here to $800 million. That seems crazy, but I'm going to put it up there. However, what might be a little bit crazier is the next movie I have up here. And there's one real reason why this next movie is at the number 5 spot above $800 million. And just slightly, I'm going to put it at 825, is How to Train Your Dragon. The reason? Lilo and Stitch. You can say what you want, but if people like your movie and they like your remake, live action remake, Lilo and Stitch, by the way, seemed relatively faithful based on the comparison clips I've been seeing from the original to the reboot. And if people like it, and it's quote unquote kid friendly, and this movie, while it's I think targeting a demographic maybe one notch above Lilo and Stitch. I love Lilo and Stitch, by the way, the new one. I don't care what people say. I love it. But anyways, then I think this movie has a chance to make a bank at the box office. Plus, the reason I'm redoing this list as well is I think that what I'm realizing now is that the release window still really matters. The summer season really matters. Memorial Day, crushed. And these films are mostly in the summer windows, but the other ones are either in the Thanksgiving or Christmas window. Tron Ares is the exception. I don't know. It's in October, I think. So that is what it is. But the rest of the movies on this list are either in the summer, prime summer release dates, or Thanksgiving or Christmas. And I think that makes a huge difference. We saw that with Memorial Day, which we just talked about with Lilo and Stitch and Mission Impossible. So How to Train Your Dragon, I think, can make $825 million. The next 4 films, I think top 3 I think are going to make $1 billion for sure. The next one, I was certain about this, and now I'm not so certain. Zootopia 2, I put originally, where did I put? I put it at number 3 originally at $1.25 billion. I'm going to have it at just barely scraping $1 billion. Not because I don't think people are excited about the movie. Not because I don't think that based on the first movie that it's not going to make $1 billion. The first one made $1 billion. I think the novelty and the excitement has worn off. It's been a long time. It's been a whole pandemic and then some since the first movie came out. I don't know. Moana makes me hesitate because Moana 2 made $1 billion. I don't know. Did it make $1 billion? I think it made close to $1 billion if it didn't. But I hesitate because Moana 2 came out well after Moana 1 as well, but there was such excitement growing for Moana based on the streaming numbers on Disney+. I just haven't seen that with Zootopia, so I just don't know. Now, it's in the Thanksgiving window. That gives me some hope for this. But I'm going to put it at $1 billion. I'm going to lower it $250 million, which seems crazy. But when you're talking about $1 billion, I guess I don't know. It's not as crazy. But I'm a little more on the fence about this because based on the reaction to the trailers and whatnot, I've been like, yeah, I don't know if that groundswell of excitement is there. We'll see. Coming in at number 3 now, replacing it, so I flip-flop 3 and 4, is Jurassic World Rebirth, which I originally had at $1.125 billion. I think that's pretty fair. I'm gonna leave it there. Because I think that it's coming out the 4th of July weekend. That's a holiday weekend. People seem genuinely interested in this movie based on the reaction to the trailers. The trailers have looked good. Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, Jonathan Bailey. It looks good. And I think if people see a good Jurassic World movie coming out during the 4th of July weekend, they're going to go. Now, if this movie comes out with a 30% on Rotten Tomatoes, it might even then, though, Jurassic World Dominion, I mean, it had the old cast in there, I guess, but that movie made $1 billion, but it wasn't received super well. I don't know if that same quote-unquote goodwill is going to carry on with a quote-unquote reboot. It's not a reboot, it's a sort of a soft reboot. We'll see, but I still think $1.125 billion seems reasonable for this film. Coming in at number 2, I had Wicked at $1.5 billion. That seems crazy. I'll put it at $1.2 billion at this point. It was December. We were all happy, and I was inflating numbers a little bit. I still think it's going to crack $1 billion based on the fact that the first film, I think, made $700 million. It made a lot of money. It almost made $1 billion on its own. And since then, it's won a ton of Oscars. Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande have been really just icons on the internet for their social media press tour and whatnot. And the movie was really well received. Really well received. That's a tongue twister. Really well received. And I have no reason to believe that Wicked Part 2 isn't going to be. I think they filmed them back to back. I am pretty sure. I'm not 100% sure. I have no reason to believe that they didn't also nail the second part of the movie. And so the second part of the play, I should say, the musical. So I'm going to keep it at number 2 at $1.2 billion at this point. Because coming in at number 1 at $2.05 billion is what I had it originally. I don't, 2 billion, 2.05, whatever. Around $2 billion, Avatar, Fire and Ash. That's not in question. People are going to go see this movie. We should be seeing a trailer somewhat soon, though, is what I'm guessing. And so I'm kind of curious to see why we haven't as of yet, but we'll see where that goes. But guys, that's my updated list for the remaining films of 2025, the updated top grossing films. I'd love to hear your guys' predictions and thoughts in the comments down below. But for me, I have number 10, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, number 9, Tron Ares, number 8, Fantastic Four First Steps, number 7, F1, number 6, Superman, number 5, How to Train Your Dragon, number 4, Zootopia, number 3, Jurassic World Rebirth, number 2, Wicked for Good, Wicked Part 2, and number 1, Avatar, Fire and Ash. I am going to eat my words for all of these predictions. I am, because if you go back to the segment I made a while ago, look at it. It's bad. But we do this for fun. I think a couple of predictions on this list, just really quickly closing it out. First of all, the Michael Jackson biopic is probably going to get delayed. For some reason, The Passion of the Christ Part 2 is going to get delayed. I don't know. But other predictions like Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning making $750 million. Based on the opening weekend, I feel somewhat okay about that, actually. We'll see. But I feel okay about that. Elio making $450 million. I feel okay about that, actually, as well. Mickey 17, I thought was going to make $425 million. That was ridiculous. I don't know. I thought Bong Joon-ho, everyone would flock to that movie, and they didn't. So, yeah, there are a couple predictions that I think are trending in the right direction, but it's all just fun and games. It's all just for fun. I don't claim to be an expert in these things. You can go check out other YouTube channels for expertise, but yeah, guys, it's all just for fun. So let me know your predictions for the remaining top 10 2025 box office films in the comments down below.